Hello and welcome. I'm gonna show you how to customize your website with the Evenz WordPress theme. First of all, let's go in the customizer. Under theme customization, there are all the theme options, like colors, typography, menu, logo, and more. In colors, there are several color pickers. You will notice that this theme is based on the popular Google Material Design color scheme. So we have basically 2 background colors, 2 text colors, and 2 accent colors. You want to make sure that the backgrounds have a high contrast with the text color, otherwise the text will result impossible to read. You cannot set, for instance, white page background and black paper background. This is not going to work out. So, for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to see how the theme works with a dark color scheme. And we are going to set dark gray paper and page background black. You can see that this background is not page background, but is instead paper, because the page background is meant to be used only on straight page. You can see the difference here. This is page background and this is paper. Then you will notice that it's impossible to read the text, so we're going to set some light text color and some white title color. The accent color is going to affect buttons, links, and similar interaction links. So let's use something quite bright, for instance, orange. Here we go. It's some nice orangish color. Perfect. You will notice that every button is going to be affected, and then you have a bunch of other colors. The duotone color is going to affect the color of the pictures on your hover. So you want to pick something similar or complementary to your accent color. In this way, for instance. Here we go. While the gradient is an optional color that is going to be used on top of header if you enable it, or other design elements. We are going to set it to orange as well. Then you have typography settings. You can set the default content text font, the bold font, headings, captions, which by the way are these, a custom font for your page header, and a custom font for menu, buttons, and other small text such as tags. So for instance, you want to change the color of the headings, which are the HTML tags H1, H2, and so on. And we are going to set, for instance, a fialla that is quite different and easy to see for our tutorial. You can set a different variant if available for your font family. And by the way, what you want to make really sure is on the Google Font website that your language is supported for the Google Font family that you want to use, because some font families are not available for every language. So you can choose your language here and make sure to pick one font where your language is supported. Otherwise, the accents are going to be converted to other letters. Then we have a button setting, because maybe you want to use more round buttons, and there are different size of shape which you can set. Then you have the menu bar, where it's possible to upload a logo, and the logo for when your header is transparent. Now, you will see that now is supposed to be not transparent and not sticky. So this logo is never being used, and we should actually, in this case, set a logo with a high contrast on the dark background. But in case you want to use, for instance, a sticky menu like this, and enable the transparent feature, you want to use a different color of logo for the transparent version. So you are free to upload a completely different logo, like this. And when scrolling, the opaque version is going to be used. You can also set a logo for the mobile version, because maybe you need more room for mobile, and you can set it and check it by switching viewport with these buttons. It is possible to optionally display a search function here. And then you can also set some custom colors for the opaque version. So if you want a light menu, you can set it like this. So you can override the color scheme which you have set in the color section. Here we go. This is an option to enable a call to action in the menu bar, which is going to be empty as we need to fill in some text and some link. You can optionally set a CSS selector and ID selector in case you want to link this function to some JavaScript. Optional is also possible to set an icon. This theme also features a secondary menu option, which you enable with the switch. The secondary header can contain an additional call to action, an icon, a countdown to any event of your archive, a secondary menu, and social icons. So you can set the icon from the drop down, set some custom text, an optional link, and optionally set an event, or just leave it blank. In this way, if you want to set custom color for this menu, an additional font color picker is available here. So you can pick whatever color scheme you like. In the social network tab, you can add any link to the most popular social networks, like Facebook, for instance, which is going to appear up here. If you notice these kind of color glitches, it is just a matter of cache, and you may wanna just refresh the page in this way and give it a second in order to flush your local cache, which is not. In the header section, you can set the default setting for the top part of the page. So you can set a parallax effect in this way that is going to add some animation on the scroll of the picture. You can set a default picture for the archive pages, enable a nice waves animation, and enable an optional duotone effect, which is going to color the picture using the colors you have set in the colors tab. Then I'm going to disable it to avoid conflicts. You can also set a grayscale tone for your picture, set it on a more sober way, and darken it a little bit. And this is the gradient overlay, which you can enable, and is taking the colors from your gradient overlay color. Finally, you can also enable a frame for your header. Then you have a footer setting section where you can set custom text for your footer in this way, and this field also supports an A-link HTML tag. You can optionally set custom colors for your footer, like this. Then you have some blog settings if you want to globally enable a sidebar for your single posts. Here we go. And you can also optionally enable a corner radius for your postcards, which are these. Now we don't see it because in this sidebar template we are on a same background, but it's going to be very visible here. You see that you can add some corner radius, obtaining a smoother card effect. Let's set it to 6. Then you have some event settings, like the possibility to hide automatically the past events. You can set the amount of speaker for each time frame of your schedules. You can display related events at the bottom of each event page, which is based on the custom event taxonomy. And are visible here. You can also enable a sharing function that is going to add sharing icons in this section. By the way, single services are customizable in the reaction plugin settings. And you can also choose to use a 12 hours format instead of a 24 hours format. This is mainly going to affect your schedule appearance. Finally, in the Advanced tab, you have two very useful sections, which by default we suggest having enabled. These two settings will load a single minified style sheet for the CSS and a single minified JavaScript for the scripts. So you are going to increase the performance and you are going to speed up the loading time for your website. But in case you want to customize the main style sheet or the main JavaScript of the theme, for developers we added this option which allows you to load default unminified scripts and styles. Once you finish, remember to click the publish button to make your changes effective. And here we go.